I know you will be talking with President Trump tomorrow. What do you want to say to him? Yo sé que usted hablará con el presidente Trump mañana, President Trump. ¿Qué le quieres decir?
Mira, varios elementos. Además, hemos hablado con muchos presidentes de la región.
We have spoken to various presidents in the region, but I am certain that the concept of democracy by President Trump is very clear in the region. We saw democracy under threat in the country, in the region in Venezuela, and we lost it. We lost democracy. So it's very clear to us in the region the threat that is posed when a country can turn into a refuge and a refuge for terrorists. There is information that suggests that gold is stolen by some terrorist organizations to be sold, and also that is also linked to drug trafficking. So democracy for the region is crucial, and this is very clear to President Trump. That's how he has manifested it, and also we need to speak about democracy also with our neighbors, and very clearly so, and with decisiveness about democracy.
I think that's a message the president will be very interested in hearing. That was my exclusive interview with Juan Guaido, the man the United States of America recognizes as the president of Venezuela. He says he appreciates the international community's support. He appreciates the Trump administration's support. And there are more protests scheduled for tomorrow. I spoke earlier with President Trump today, who told me, and I quote, "All options are on the table." Joining me right now, Florida Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz. So, Congressman, what does it mean when the president says all options regarding Venezuela are on the table? Good to see you, by the way.
This is our hemisphere, Trish. We've got 225,000 Venezuelans living in my state of Florida. There are 2 million Venezuelans now living in Colombia. If we do not take action to stabilize Venezuela with our diplomatic efforts and potentially even military efforts for training and equipping missions so that there's not spillover of violence into other elements of Latin America, I think that's what the president means. But as you've highlighted on the show, the experiences of Venezuela show the failures of socialism. And I tend to agree with Sir Winston Churchill. Capitalism is the unequal distribution of resources. Socialism is the equal sharing of misery. And I think that that's what we see happening now in Venezuela.
You know, it's well put, and certainly an important thing to say right now as we look at the tragedy that's really unfolded there over the last nearly 20 years in Venezuela. I mean, capitalism is imperfect, right? And I know you're fighting for, and I talk a lot about the middle class feeling the squeeze, and it's not right, and there's got to be a better way. But I think the better way comes from better policies, from economic policies that encourage more growth, so we can grow and we can grow and wages can go up. I mean, these are the things that will actually result in meaningful change. We should think very hard, for example, about our policy with China, which the president is doing. But to suddenly say, okay, there's no health insurance industry, private industry anymore, and we're just going to tax you all to death, I really worry, Congressman, for the future of our nation and for the nation that our children will be living in.
Yeah, socialism doesn't look like a charming new congresswoman from the Bronx. Socialism looks like not being able to find toilet paper in Venezuela. And, you know, the richness of that country is not something that is too distant in our memory. You know, in Florida, I remembered growing up in the 80s and 90s, Venezuelans were merchants. They were business people. They were proud of their country. And when you allow the country to be hollowed out by policies that empower the leaders rather than the people, the government rather than the individuals, then you lose the sense of ingenuity and innovation that allows any country to thrive. And so I'm very grateful that we've got an ambassador to the Organization of American States like Carlos Trujillo working closely with the vice president and the president. Venezuela is on the minds of the senior leaders of our government, and that's a good thing, because look, if we got to be having troops somewhere, Trish, I'd sure rather stabilize our neighborhood here than be sending them over to Syria and Iraq and Afghanistan.
Monroe Doctrine, right? I mean, you know, if we're not there, we run the risk risk that the Russians are.
Well, the Iranians are already there. I mean, you know that the Iranians have made a substantial investment in the political infrastructure in Venezuela, and a massive civil war there could allow Iran to, Hezbollah backed by Iran. They're essentially, as you know, Iran's terrorism proxy. And so I think that we cannot look to Latin America as if we are the only potential player. If we are not influential, then some of the darkest forces on earth will use that as an opportunity to bring terror closer to America's shores.
Yeah, well, you know, look, regardless of what you think, right, about the administration, you can't help but feel for the people of Venezuela tonight. And I do think it's important that the president's paying attention to this, and the vice president's paying attention to this. I mean, he met with actually many of the people that have been on this show, many of the freedom fighters risking their lives or having risked their lives to fight for this opportunity. He met with them there at the White House today. Congressman, how does this end? How do we see that libertad for Venezuela?
We must establish some semblance of security within Venezuela. Otherwise, there's going to be a massive humanitarian and potential political crisis throughout Latin America, and it could threaten the entire hemisphere. And so this has to end with a recognized government with the confidence of the people.
Thank you, Matt Gaetz.